also call it Hawaiian Geomancy.
Right.
There was, remember, the word kahuna means expert, right? So there were experts or kahunas who dealt with this part of the culture. And they were called Kahuna Pu'uone. Actually, it was Kuhikuhi Pu'uone. Sounds like a long, but what it meant was to point out the piles of sand. Okay. Well, what does that mean? That refers to the way they were trained. Now, what they were trained to do was to be very aware of subtle changes in energy patterns, in field energy, so that and it was probably a combination of what you might call physical and psychic, because they didn't differentiate between that. So you know that if you walk into an area where there's a well, well, it feels different. It feels differently not only because it might be damp, okay, that's obvious, but it might be cooler, and also there might be more negative ions than positive ions, and that can be sensed. And there can be other things that can be sensed depending on what you're trained to be aware of. So the way these people were trained would be they would be taken as apprentices by the master down to the beach. Now, the master would also have prepared these little piles of sand with objects in them. And so what these people had to do, they had a wand, and they were supposed to, the easiest way to put it is this way, they were supposed to expand their aura and detect which one of these piles had the object in it. Okay. And they had to then point the kuhi. They had to point at the sand pile that had the object. And then when everybody had done what they'd done, then the master would come and show them which one of the piles had the object in it. Well, then they were told to be very aware of what the senses were, of what they felt, of what their thoughts were, of whether they were trying to outguess it, and they had to do it by feeling. So then they would do it over and over and over and over again. Now, what's really interesting is that this was also a children's game.
Okay.
Called Noa. And in that game, there were different ways. Sometimes you use pile of things, but most often they'd have a piece of tapa cloth. And I see nobody's seeing me raise my hands. Okay. Yeah. There would be a piece of tapa cloth, and then something would be put under that, a kukui nut or something. And the children had to guess under the cloth where it was.
Okay.
A lot of the games that they had in old Hawaii were designed to see what kind of talents a child had. And then that child would be, usually within a family, given to one of the uncles, aunts, grandparents, whatever, with that specialty, so they could be brought up learning that specialty.
Wow.
So these people, these Kuhi people, we'll just call them Kuhi for short, why they were responsible for getting the best place to build a temple, for instance. So it had to have the right energy, and outwardly, and of course the shape and the stones and all of that were part of it, but outwardly, the typical temple would be on the end of a ridge facing the ocean with water coming down both sides, a stream or a gully or something like that. That would be the ideal energy place for a temple. Sometimes there's one on Kauai, for instance, where it has all the qualities except no water on the left side. So they built a drainage ditch from the stream that was uphill so that there would be water on both sides for that temple.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah, because the flowing water increased the kind of energy that they were interested in. And they would also set out sites for villages and the chief's hut and all that kind of stuff. Anything that had to do with the earth and the earth energies.